Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. This also goes for every Trinbagonian.
Yes, indeed. This also goes out to every Grenadian, Caracunian, and PT Martinican. Let us come together and build. Let us come together and transform. Let us come together and make this place better, not just for this generation, but for the next generation and the next generation. I want to welcome you to the hub. Again, we have a unique moment in time to talk. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off by applauding Mr. Otter Pierre, the Supervisor of Elections. I have now more respect for him. The mere fact that he thought over that interview, he reflected on it, and he decided to come forward and apologize to the Grenadian people for the whole misinterpretation on that very night. And he clarified a number of things. So I want to applaud him. I want to thank him for his maturity, for coming forward and doing just that. In fact, I have more respect for him now than before. And if I may have said anything to cause him to be unhappy or upset or disappointed, I too do sincerely apologize for that. And I would love to sit, chat, laugh, and maybe one day knock a glass with him. I thank you for your clarification. I think great many Grenadians, home and abroad, they are clearer now on how they can go about getting registered, how they can participate in our democracy. So thank you, sir. I wish you all the best. And I think we are on the same page with your clarification. I am now extremely happier, and I know great many people are too. So again, I want to repeat that I was very pleased hearing Mr. Otter Pierre, the Supervisor of Elections, apologize and also lend clarity to a number of things based on his previous interview on Ride Along and the one tonight. People are clearer and people appreciate his explanation. I applaud his maturity. And if I too have said a number of things, because I was a bit heated, and this is my baby, right? This whole registration process. If I may have said anything to cause you, Mr. Pierre, to be uneasy, to be uncomfortable, to be, disappointed, or maybe to be disrespected, I do apologize sincerely. And as I said earlier, I look forward to sitting with you. I look forward to maybe one day knocking a glass with you. And I really appreciate your apology and your clarification tonight. So what I will do at this point in time is to play for my viewers and listeners at least the first part of your interview, because I think it was really hitting the nail on the head.
So we will clarify that later on down the road. We here for clarification. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, it's called clarification.
Yeah.
It's called clarification. As I said, I
Yeah.
I have newfound respect for you, sir.
Yeah.
Because,
Let me say
right.
this up front.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't shy away, especially if mistakes are made. I created more confusion than I tried to solve. So my thing is not to shy away and feel, I'm too big or too proud not to come back and say anything. I think the Grenadian public deserves the respect that I have to give. I am a Grenadian, and I certainly will live up to ensuring that they at least get some clarification. I really hope that the presentation that I would make today will actually bring some clarification. But further to that, I have decided to embark upon a education campaign, not with me, but certainly with other staff members and persons who may invite from outside, to really and truly dive deeper into the things of elections. All right.
Okay.
So this is just the first part, and I'm really, really happy to be here.
Okay. Good. So I'm going to give you all the time you need. I won't cut you. And after, then I will ask questions based on your presentation. So go right ahead, sir. You have my full attention.
Good. So first of all, let me apologize for last evening's mix-up. Okay, first and foremost. Let me apologize for the confusion that I may have caused. Okay, and some incorrect statements that I may have made. All right, so I want to clear that first and foremost. Secondly, the law that we were quoting was the 1993 law that was amended. The part that I quoted from, that was amended in 2006. Okay, so the amended law is the law that we needed to focus on. Let me just say that up front. All right. So I would like to read the law. I would not make the error to interpret the law. Okay. I'm just here to just present the law as is, so you can hear for yourself. And I would advise that you go and search for it online. Okay, get a copy of it, look for it, and you can read it for yourself. All
Is
right,
this the
Junior,
same one here? Is this the same one here you're going to be reading so I could put it up as well? Is that the same thing?
and where is that taken from?
That is taken from the rights, the same.
No. Which law? What year?
That I believe is, I'm not sure, but go ahead.
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
what I see there just might be 1993. Okay. So
All right.
we are looking at 2006.
All right.
2006.
And so
The same part 3. 2006.
Okay.
Let me read. Registration of electors and related matters. Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the right of electors to vote. Subject to this act, a person is entitled to vote as an elector in an election in a constituency if on polling day he's qualified to be an elector for that constituency and is on that day registered in the current list to be used at that election. Okay. Part 2. A person is not entitled to vote as an elector at an election in a constituency unless he is registered in the current list to be used at that election in that constituency. Okay, I know that there was a question stated or asked the last time about constituency. Whenever you are registered in a constituency, and when you go to vote in a constituency. Okay.
Okay.
Right, so I just want to make that clear. Qualification for registration. Now there are 3 sections that deals with qualification, disqualification, and maintaining the right to be registered, or maintaining registration. So those are the 3 areas that we want to talk about and focusing on. All right, so let me start for qualification of registration. Subject to section 7, any person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, not full stop, semicolon, okay? Or is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. Now, what I got mixed up with, and my interpretation led me wrong, is to say that Grenadians, citizens of Grenada have to spend 12 months here for registration, for the registration purposes. Okay, so let us get that clear. This is for Commonwealth citizens.
Right. So
Right.
just for clarification, hold on. Sorry to cut you there, but just for clarification, are you saying now that citizens of Grenada, with that established this, citizens of Grenada do not need to be here 12 months prior?
Well, I don't want to preempt anything. I want to read the whole thing, because when we see semicolon, it means that there are other qualifying factors.
Okay.
Right? We can't just take it in isolation. We must look at other qualifying factors. So let me just read the whole thing, and then right. So B, Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of registration. C, has attained the age of 18 years. And D, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. Okay, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. For the purpose of registration under this act and the rules, a person is deemed subject to this act to reside in the polling division in which he is ordinarily resident immediately prior to his registration. Now, 3, a person is not ordinarily resident in a polling division if he has taken up residence in that polling division for the purpose of engaging in any employment of a temporary or seasonal character. Number 4, for the purpose of registration under this act and the rules, a person may be ordinarily resident only in one polling division at any particular time. Okay? Right. So we look at now, I wouldn't go through the disqualification of electors because it talks about persons who are in prison, persons who are incarcerated, and so forth and so forth. Right. So let us look the right to remain registered. Every person registered as an elector pursuant to this part shall remain registered unless and until his name is deleted from the current list because of, in the opinion of the supervisor of election, it appears that since the publication of the current list, he has A, died, semicolon, B, left Grenada and has not been ordinarily resident in the constituency for a period exceeding 12 months, not being a citizen of Grenada. So you're looking at maybe, I don't want to interpret, let me just leave it this still. Okay? C, ceased to be ordinarily resident in Grenada for a period exceeding 5 years, being a citizen of Grenada. D, become ordinarily resident in another constituency. E, had an objection to his registration allowed. Or F, otherwise ceased to be qualified by the virtue of this act or any other law. All right, so I would stop here.
Okay. All right. So let's go back a bit, right? Because it changes a lot of things based on what we was said in the last program.
Yes, yes.
So where it says, subject to Section 7, a person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, or, and he went on to state the or.
Right.
So I want to make this abundantly clear. Are we saying that any Grenadian citizen is eligible to register whether they are here for the 12 months period prior to the registration? Yes?
Right. Now, summarily, this is what I would say. Right? This is what I would say. If you are a Grenadian, you can, or a citizen, let me not just say Grenadian. If you are a citizen of Grenada, right, you have all the documentation to prove that you are a citizen. You want to be registered? First and foremost, you need to be here to be registered.
Okay.
You come with your documentation and your proof that you are an eligible voter. What the office is entitled to do is to accept your documentation and to go ahead and register you.
Okay.
Right? Now, if there are circumstances that first and foremost, there are circumstances that would dictate how you get on the electoral list. And if those circumstances, when we look at them and we examine them, poses a problem, one, we would first and foremost send that back to the electoral office that you got registered in and said, look, we need additional information, we need some clarification, etc., etc. And what your responsibility is either to provide that information. Okay? Right. Now, let's say that you ended up on the list. You were placed on the list, placed on the electoral list. When that list is published, and the addendum to that list is published every 3 months. When that list is published, there are persons that will go through the list. And they have the right within a 7-day period to make objections to your name being there. All right? When those objections are raised, then we would do whatever we can to clear up those issues. So again, that is basically what it is.
Okay. So based on the first interpretation, approximately how many people was disenfranchised? Because you being at the helm, of course, this interpretation might trickle down to those under you. So how many, or were there people disenfranchised by your initial interpretation?
No. I didn't have anybody disenfranchised from that. In fact, there are persons that we said, look, we need additional information, we need some clarification. They provided it, and they were registered.
Right.
Okay, they were registered.
So there
are persons that said, oh, they might have. In fact, I could recall there was one lady that called some months ago and said, look, I have my citizenship certificate. I've been here. I said, but we did not, from the information in front of me, I could not determine that. So what you need to do is go back to your electoral office and give them that information. So when it comes to my desk, I can do whatever I can do. All right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So we had someone who claimed, and that came from other reports, right? Who claimed that they went into the electoral office to get registered, and they was told that you needed to be here for 6 months prior.
But I can't. Go ahead.
Right. And that person, I believe, even Kim spoke about it yesterday in while he was on the program, and he is accompanying that young lady back to the electoral office. I think it's the
You're
day
breaking
of.
up a little bit.
Sorry, sorry. What he was saying is that the young lady came to him stating that she was unable to register because he was telling her about that same 12 months thing, and they did not register her. And so
Okay.
he is going back to the registration office with her, I believe, either today or Friday, so that she could get registered because someone in your office told her the same thing that you told us on Tuesday. So it was
Right.
interpreted by someone else the same way how you interpreted it or interpreted it
The last time.
the last time. Yes.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So, but the thing is that we are the new law. All right.
Uh-huh.
This is the law that has been amended. That is what we're going by. All right.
Right. Right.
But I have never had the case where I just flatly turned on somebody. But they were persons, for example, Commonwealth citizens, right? And there is a Commonwealth oath that has to be filled and signed by a GP, okay? That they were, I have been here for X amount of time, okay? There are times, for example, there's one that said that they were here for 1 year. Okay. And we asked for additional information. They gave us their passport when they came in, etc., etc. And we were able to register that person.
Right. So I just want to make this abundantly clear again. If someone is in uh, a Grenadian living in the diaspora at any point in time, and they have the credential, the birth certificate, all the credential that is required, they could come in and register at any time.
Right. So they can come in and register at any time.
No problem. So that all change a lot, eh?
That all certainly changed a lot, but let us also understand that it is not a full stop. It's not just because you are a Grenadian citizen. There are other qualifying factors. For example, age. If we had a full stop at a Grenadian citizen, and we did not specify age, it means that I could get a 12-year-old boy to come and register to be on the list. Okay, I could get somebody 16 years to come and register to be on the electoral list. All right, but it is all, we have to look at the whole thing together. We must look at the definition in its entirety. All right, and understand that all of that is what would contribute towards you being allowed to register.
I heard some members of the opposition saying the same thing, and the interpretation was similar to your interpretation the last time as well. Are they getting it wrong? Are they wrong for interpreting it the way that they
What
are?
I would say, what I would say is that we have to look at what the law says. Okay, and the law will determine whether you're right or whether you're wrong. And again, I was wrong because I was looking at the other law, and I was mixing up what is required for a Commonwealth citizen as in contrast to what is required for a citizen of Grenada.
So are you saying that
Okay,
this law changed in 1993?
this is a 1993 law that was written in 1993, and the amended law is a 2006 Act number 19 that deals specifically with the registration of electors.
Right. What I'm saying is that so there were a time in that 1993 law that changed that first A provision, that first A article right here, where it says a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, or?
No.
Did that change?
That I think remains the same because it is here in the 2006 law as well,
Right.
right? It is there in the 2006 law as well. Now,
So,
what they would do is make sometimes slight amendments, but the law basically would remain the same. My thing again, I want to be very clear. I said 12 months for Grenadian citizens. That was incorrect.
right. But
Right?
what I'm saying,
What the law says,
yes,
you have to be ordinarily resident.
yes. No, I understand that. But when you look
Right?
at that particular clause, it is the same exact.
Exact thing as what was there in,
Right.
in 29,
So even,
in
even if,
1993.
so even if you on Tuesday you was quoting 1996 or 2023,
No,
you would have said the same
no,
thing.
I was quoting 1993 law,
Okay.
right? The Primary Act. That's what
Okay.
I was quoting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So again, guys, what we're saying right now, what Mr. Otter Pierre, supervisor of election, is saying right now, that there was a slight error that needed to be clarified. And that clarification is that if you are Grenadian, you cannot lose that birthright. You don't have to be here for that 12-month period prior to registration. You could come in at any time and register. Once your name appear on that registration, if it was not omitted in any way, and even if it was omitted, because if you stay 5 years out of the country, it could be taken out, right?
Yes. Now
Misconception.
let me just also say this. Let me also talk about that. I don't necessarily want to dwell on the 5 year issue,
Right.
okay? But it says you cease to be ordinary resident in Grenada for a period exceeding 5 years, being a citizen of Grenada. Okay. Because we are doing continuous registration all the time. We are doing continuous registration.
Mhm.
In 1993, I think they might have had enumeration. All right.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
you're out for 5 years and enumeration takes place, automatically you would not be placed on the list. Or if you were on the list prior to 1993, your name would be removed simply because you're not there.
Okay.
Right? So that 5 year thing basically hinged on the issue of enumeration.
Right. So that was Mr. Otter Pierre. And again, I want to applaud him. In fact, tonight, it's all praises on the individual for his maturity, for his humility. After all, he erred, he made some mistakes. He came back, he apologized, and he clarified. So people are clearer now. Once you're a Grenadian, you are a citizen of Grenada, you can get registered once you're 18 and you are living or you have some property, some building, some place in a constituency in this place called Grenada, Carrick, or PT Martinique, you can get registered. All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Pear, for your clarification, for your apology. And as I said earlier, if your humble servant, Kim Jones, said anything, right? Because, I could be very passionate about things, and that's my baby when it comes to registration because I understand the importance of it to winning an election. If I said anything that caused you to be unhappy or to cause you to think otherwise or to be disappointed, I do apologize sincerely. And I look forward to the day that me and you could knock a glass or maybe just chit chat. I know you from a very long time. In fact, since I was the head of Students' Council for Grenada, Carrick, and PT Martinique, I could remember that day I went to the Ministry of Education and you were there that very day, right? And I became the president of the Students' Council body for Grenada, Carrick, and PT Martinique. I've been around a while and I encounter the goodly gentleman. And I remember also being a part of a program. Uh, it's a drug control program. I don't know if it was DARE, right? Drug avoidance, something, education. I think so. And you were instrumental in that. All right. It's a person I know. Otter is a person I know. And to be honest with you, I was a bit surprised because I still believe in you. All right. So I do apologize again. And I look forward to sitting down with you because I think your clarity, your explanation, your apologies accepted by all Grenadians, and your clarification caused so many people tonight to be more comfortable. They know that, once you're a Grenadian, you have a right. You have a right to register once you reach 18. You have a property here, you live here, you've been here, you always here, you visit here, you're a Grenadian. You can't lose that. So that's really good. So I want to now encourage all our Grenadian brothers and sisters in the diaspora who love this government, who loves the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team, who wants to see the transformation agenda fulfilled. I want to urge you, Carnival coming up, all right? Once you hear, register. Register. I want to urge you to do so. Registration is key. You come for a funeral, you come for some family visits, you come for something. Register, register, register. Because ultimately, I have said so on umpteen occasions, the diaspora has a key role to play come the next election and in ensuring victory overwhelmingly. All right? So it's key. Registration. In fact, now we would hype the thing, we would intensify the registration drive so that we can get great many people to register. Right? Just think about it. There are some constituencies that the NNP won by 300 and something votes, 400 and something votes. You maintain what you have, and you get 400-500 people from that constituency, right? It's easy, like 1 to 3, and it's 14 or 15, right? So let's continue on that path. I think we're doing a fantastic job. The registration is going nicely. Most of the people who have registered from the last, since we started that campaign to now, they've been our people. All right, they've been our people. So let us continue on that path. In fact, I intend to leave Grenada sometime soon again to do more work in calling on the diaspora and recruiting and making sure that the people in the diaspora understand how important this is, the next election. The election to come is more important than the one gun. All right? That is how important it is. So we have to continue the work. We have to continue the outreach to make sure that great many people are registered and prepared. So when your sons and daughters reach 18, they should get registered too and prepare themselves, because come the next election, it will be a movie. And I might be a part of the production team. I'm not saying I'm the producer of that film, all right, or that movie, but I might be a part of the production team. But even if I'm not here, because, life is what it is. Even if I am not here, Hans go bring the news for me. Or some tack go bring the news for me to say, Kem Jones, you fought a good fight. And indeed, the election turned out to be what you said it would be. So let us continue on that path. Let us work hard. Let us remain focused. Let us get our people registered. Do not waste any time. Get registered. Registration is the key to win an election. It boils down to registration. Because in many of the seats, there were just about 200, 300 difference, 400 difference. That's what it is. So let us continue to do what we have to do. I will be out again sometime soon. I don't know when, if it's in July or, well, it definitely can't be in August, because Carnival is my thing. So just saying, I am out there trying my best to make sure that as many people as possible get registered, because I understand the importance of that. If you're not registered, you can't talk to me. If you're registered, then you have a say, because you have to be on the list. Your name have to be on the list. All right? That is very, very important. So again, The next election will be a movie. I'm telling you, if you believe that NNP got a good cut skin the last election, pray God that you're going to experience and see the next one. I'm telling you, it will happen. Because Grenadians are appreciative of the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister, and his team, and the work that they have been doing and continue to do. They are not perfect. No, they are not perfect. And they would never be perfect. But they're trying their utmost to make the lives of our people better, to improve the living standards of our people. And I say to people, I'm fighting because I have 2 daughters. I want good for them. And I want good for your daughters and your sons and your children and children. I want good for them. That's why I'm fighting you. I want Grenada to be transformed into a place where, education is top of the top, healthcare is top of the top, agriculture top of the top, human resource development top of the top, infrastructure top of the top, technology, access to technology, the use of, the integration of, the digitalization. I want that to be. I want us to be at that place. All right. So again, kudos to Mr. Otter Pierre. I wish you all the best, sir. And look, I'm calling you sir tonight. You deserve it. What I've heard from you tonight, it made me feel good. And we can chart that course in moving forward. Because I always believe that you are a professional person and you're a man of integrity and you're a man of decency and you're a brilliant individual who is competent enough to get this thing right. And I think you've gotten it right. And I'm here to say you're a competent individual. The mere fact that you come forward and you clear the thing up, I'm giving you all the kudos. You deserve it. Well deserved. You are indeed a patriot. You're mature. You're a man. You came forward and you apologize and you clarify, because anybody could make a mistake. And I too, as I said to you, I was a bit hot, and people know I'm very passionate about that, because my whole goal, my whole aim is about winning the election, the next election, and winning it big. All right, and no one will stand in the way of that. By now, people kind of know that. It's kind of well established. No one will stand in the way of that. But anybody who can aid in ensuring that law is maintained and that it applies to everybody across the board, and that victory is secured in a very fair way and in a very legal way, I am all for that, right? So again, I want to say to you, my brother, I'm deeply sorry for the way I expressed myself on my program and also on Junior's program there. But you're my friend. You're my friend, and I believe you're a competent individual. I believe you're able to supervise and be in this position for a very long time. You have clarified this thing in a very good way. And people are clear. People are very, very clear. In fact, a good friend of mine who went to get registered today, she got registered today. Another friend called me and they got registered today, which is really great. I understand the folks in St. John, there were just objections filed or made by the NNP, but that will be, of course, on hold because everything seemed to be clarified now. So I do apologize for my emotions, but I want to say here, you're indeed a very competent person. You're indeed a patriotic Grenadian. You're indeed a person who we can all look up to because of your humility, because of your nobility, because of your simplicity. All right, so we thank you. We thank you for coming forward and clearing this thing up. And I look forward to the day when we can sit and knock a glass together. And again, as I say to everybody, I am here on a mission. My mission is to make sure that the NDC wins the next election bigly, and the next one and the next one. God give me health, strength to endure. And anyone who stands in the way, anyone who stands in the way of that, well, they know. Because I'm convinced that no one will stand in the way of that. Because a Grenada to develop in a real way, for Grenada to transform in a real way, NDC needs at least 3 terms to 4 terms to guarantee that, to see Grenada where we all envision it to be. And that is important. So I need to make that abundantly clear. No one will stand in the way of NDC getting a significant victory come the next election. And that is what we are working on, because I really want to see the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister, and the team, continue with their work and do what they are doing to better the lives of our people, step by step by step. And we are with you. We are with you 100%. All right. So again, Mr. Otter Pierre, take a bow. You deserve it. You're indeed competent. You're indeed a patriotic Grenadian. You're indeed a man who's humble. You're a big man. What you did tonight is a big man thing. All right. And I look forward to the day when we can sit or even go as far as to knock a glass and laugh and kicks over it. Because at the end of the day, I know you, not now, but long. All right. Long time ago. As I said, I remembered vividly when I came to the Ministry of Education, I was still in school. All right. And I was elected as the president of the Students' Council body for the entire country. All right. And you were there. So, and you've always been that kind of personality, simple, meek, mature, and so on. So I salute you, sir. I salute you, and I wish you all the very best. I wish you all the very best. At this point, I want to play a little piece from Project Polaris, the new hospital, because that agreement with Mount Sinai already bearing fruits at the General Hospital. So we are not only concentrating on the new hospital, but also the one that we have currently.
My name is Dr. Abigail Noel, and I am the head of department at the Accident and Emergency Department, also known as Casualty. As head of department, I am responsible for coordination, and I'm also responsible for training of staff. Training of staff is to enhance our staff, not just in the medical, but also in personal well-being. We have been working along with Mount Sinai since November, and in that time, we have had such a great experience with the Mount Sinai team. One thing I love about Mount Sinai is their spirit of collaboration. They came in with ideas that we were able to discuss, and we were able to implement them. There are so many processes that they have implemented here, especially in the emergency department, that have transformed our department in real time. One of the things that I would mention is the implementation of ID bands for every patient that comes through the emergency department. So once you get in here, once you're triaged by the triage nurse at the front, you receive an identification band. And as we can imagine, that has decreased patient errors, have decreased errors in identification of patients. Because here in the emergency department, not everyone comes in able to talk or able to give information. So having an identification band on each patient has really helped us improve patient care and decrease errors. Another process that they have implemented is defibrillators on every ward, including the emergency department. Defibrillators basically are those machines that you would see on TV where they shock people. We have those on every ward. We have also started training staff in how to adequately utilize these machines. Thus far, 128 staff members have been trained in defibrillator use, and this includes Grenada and Carrico. Mount Sinai has implemented a huddle system. It is a system that I have had experience in because I had experience working with Mount Sinai in Guyana. The huddle system is basically a small meeting, like a 15-minute meeting with all team members. And when I say all team members, I mean security guards, receptionists, maids, nurses, doctors, everyone who is on duty in the department at the time, drivers, very important. They come in for a mini 15-minute check-in where we discuss any issues to patient flow from the prior shift, and also not just issues, but also compliments, great things that happened on the shift. One of the advantages of huddle that I have seen in our department is that it improves communication between staff members as well as with patients. And also staff members have a sense of confidence. They feel seen, they feel heard, and they understand that their role is important. This transformation means everything to the emergency department and by extension, the health system. They are giving us the tools and the knowledge so that we can accelerate, that we can fix our problems, and then the systemic issues, they would be resolved over time. But we are resolving our issues internally, and I've seen a great improvement, especially in the emergency department, and I expect that we are going to improve even more, and I'm very excited about that.
There, Dr. Noel, thank you very much indeed. And look, things are happening. The NNP will not talk about this. The partnership with Mount Sinai, we already start seeing fruits of that at the General Hospital, and some very basic things that should be there were not there, and now they're there, thanks to the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and the Honorable Philip Tellisford and Miss Andrea Senbonad. You see, Andrea Senbonad, she has not been given enough credit for what she has been able to do for Grenada in the health sector in this area, because she's the advisor in that area and the lead for the new hospital. She's doing a fantastic job. But you know, anything negative they want to attack her, they will concoct stories and say all kinds of stuff about her. But she has not been given enough credit. She has been doing a good job. And all kudos to her and the team. You see, the NNPN want these things to happen. They want bad news. They are bearers of bad news. They are carriers of bad news. In days of old, when you see certain people coming up, you know they come in and announce somebody dead in the village. They're ringing a bell or they're beating some kind of... That's the NNP. The NNP is like that. In days of old, once you see these people coming up, you say, oh God, you hold your head. And you start to bawl, you see somebody dead, somebody dead. Because, you know, the villages were not as large as now, right? and we got to face it. NNP, they went as far as New York in some little backyard with 10, 15 people. I mean, sometimes you have to look at the NNP and say, poor thing, watch them now. Poor thing, watch them now. They went in some little backyard in New York. You know, when I Jukutu Kem Jones, when he go in New York, hundreds of people, yes? Hundreds of people eating, drinking, marrying, having a damn nice time. Kem Jones, you know, a little boy from Grand Roy. I'm not a frontline politician. I'm not running for anything. I getting more people than the NNP by 100 times. They're going up in New York. But you see, the people in New York, are you in a stale pea? What's wrong with all you? Put some stale pea in a bucket or something under the bed now. Wait for them now. You know, or in a party, you getting party them Chinese store them in New York. Put some stale pea and wait for them. They playing the bad-minded. You see that Kate Lewis girl? You see she? I wanted to get one nasty cocktail in that election. Oh God, by watch. Your lipstick and all coming out on your lip. Watch. And we're working for that, you know. We're working towards that. I want you to get a good beating politically at the polls. You're playing your bad-minded. You're playing your do a sense. Watch. Licks. You'll get it. Take it. Take time. Politics, politically, at the polls. So yeah, so they went up in New York there and Oh God, NNP, watch. They cannot even mobilize a good 50 or 100 people to. I mean, I went to New York only recently, hundreds of people. And when I did the amount of visits, I did some visits and so on. And in the backyard visits I did, there were more people in the backyard visits than the NNP. I went down to Virginia, and the amount of people in Virginia, Grenadians, who ready. In fact, one of them came only recently, and they came by me here, ready. I went to Maryland, Baltimore, same thing, ready and set. Huge crowds. I'm not a frontline politician. I'm not the guy who, I'm in the back. But I'm able to get so many more people than the NNP in anything, in everything. Not just anything, in everything. The NNPs are dying breed. The NNPs are infertile embryo. They're useless in everything. Even if they come out, they're still useless. It's sad. It's really sad. But folks, we have to remain focused. We have to keep our eyes on the prize and understand the mission ahead or at hand. Registration. That's key. Understand the dynamics in the different constituencies and make sure that we get our people. Because remember, come the next election, if you want to know about planes, you will know. Because Kem Jones will be the lead where that is concerned. And I could organize. And I could mobilize. And I could get the thing done. All right? You know that. From no matter where. So ready yourself. It's what it is. Ready yourself. Because the election coming is so important. It is more important than the one gun. We have to make sure that our people are ready, home and abroad. Home and abroad. So when your young one reaches 18, make sure that they're registered. Make sure that they're registered and prepared to go out and vote on election day. Because we will mobilize and organize and make sure that they get out there. It is important. Very, very important. It is a numbers game. It is a numbers game. And we must guarantee that and make sure that that is fulfilled. Make sure that happens. We are dealing with the NNP who still outdated, been there, and they run out of steam. You're dealing with young people who are smart, brilliant, who are on the ball, who can get the thing done. And that's exactly what we're going to do. All right? Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you, God's willing, tomorrow, starting at 8 in the AM to continue that journey again. All right? What I can tell you is that there was a publication that would have been out tomorrow, and I believe I kind of stopped that publication from going out there. All right? It would have been pretty much negative towards Otter Pierre. I kind of stopped that publication from going out there in the newspaper. So, I already started doing the damage control to help my brother because I think he did well tonight. Folks,